Oh my god, Joe Kessler's been fake the entire time?
Oof. Who came up with that shit?
That is a no-no. The whole thing. Not one bit of that shit flies here.
Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for today. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of The Boys Season 4. This one is for episode 6 titled Dirty Business. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today, this one's going to be doing a review for The Boys, this one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Season 4. This one's called Dirty Business, Episode 6. So, oh my god, what the fuck did I just watch, man? So, this was an exciting episode. You had a lot of things going on in this one. You had, of course, the big Tech Night cave party going on, and you also had, the Butcher and Joe Kessler storyline. Now, we're going to kind of go over these like usual. We're going to go over the A plot, then we'll go over the B plot and kind of discuss it overall. Overall, I would say that this was an enjoyable episode, although it was, I would argue, their most flawed episode this season so far. I would say this episode definitely has the most issues, but it was really enjoyable and really crazy at times too. So let's delve right into this. So this episode, right, we have the A plot, which is basically the Tech Night plot where he is hosting this, you know, thing. You've got everybody that kind of shows up, Homelander, Firecrackers, Sister Sage, stuff like that. And it was really cool, you know, you get to see everybody. Victoria Newman's there, and A-Train's there, and, you know, a whole bunch of them. The only ones that are not there holding down the fort is the Deep and Black Noir, which actually have a really interesting interaction in this one, where this replacement Black Noir takes his, like, helmet off and stuff, and he's like, look, man, like, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna do this, and the Deep's basically like, no, you gotta stay, because, you know, violence is power, and violence is this, and, you know, you gotta be for this and stuff, and all that. So, the Deep basically convinces this new Black Noir to stay, is basically what ends up going down. But anyway, at this house, so, we get introduced to Web Weaver this episode, right? And he's got this crazy thing where he's got, like, these webs coming out of his ass and shit, and you've got MM that's like, yeah, no, I don't think so, dude. But basically, they take his suit, they take it right from him, and they give it to Huey. Huey then sneaks into the party dressed as Web Weaver and interacts with everybody. And he's trying to change his voice up, saying like, yo, what's up, dude? You know? Which is pretty crazy. And we get, in my opinion, one of the most insane scenes of the entire show. He ends up going down there to be Tech Knight's sex toy, basically. In other words, that's basically what he is. And they tie him down. You've got this other old man that's like his assistant for Tech Night, and like he straps him down. He like screws with him, and then he's like getting raped by Ashley, who's like completely for this. And I can actually say the words, Huey got raped by Ashley. Y'all, that is something that actually happened in a TV show. I can't even believe that happened. Huey took one for the team, let's put it that way. And Huey did a damn good job, because he didn't break character at all until Tech Night obviously discovered who he really was. And then he was, you know, obviously he was caught. But I gotta tell you, Huey took one for the team this episode, and it was fucked. It was insane. I couldn't believe how insane that was. And again, Tech Night was a really cool character, although obviously this episode, you kind of knew it was going to happen. They do end up taking him out. Starlight and Kimiko get in there, and they do end up taking him out, but not before you get an insane sequence where they're shipping a whole bunch of his money off to different things like Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, you know, and basically they're just blowing all of his money, you know what I'm saying? So that was insane as well, but a really good scene. Tech Night as a villain overall, he was minor in this show, but I really enjoyed him, and I thought that he was very well executed and really screwed up. But anyway, Huey took one for the team, let's put it that way. That was a gruesome, gruesome scene. And I couldn't believe that Ashley was just right in there like she was, but anyway, there you go. That's the Web Weaver scenes, I guess. Now, on top of that, you also got a few other scenes at the party, like Starlight confronting Firecracker. She apologizes to her and then knocks her down, knocks her out, you know. You've got Sister Sage, who interacts with MM. MM basically threatens, like, he's like, I don't want to have to do this, you know, and then Sister Sage kind of doesn't give him a choice. and he, shoots her. Now, it doesn't kill her, but she does get dumbed down, and then throughout the rest of this episode, you got Sage wandering around, eating a bunch of cake like a fucking 2-year-old, and she's just like, oh, I'm Sage, It's like, what the fuck? But yeah, no, so she went from the smartest character to the dumbest character, so of course, that's a trope that they had to pull. Of course, I mean, Now, the next thing I'll say is, this was a really intense episode for Homelander. We basically get to see, after the whole party's done, after Tech Night goes down, everything kind of, all wraps up. You've got Homelander that hooks up with Firecracker in this episode, and she pulls out her milk bags, let's put it that way, and she shoots it right out of and Homelander likes it, I guess. He's, like, sucking on it, I'm telling you, it's Stormfront all over again. And she says, she's like, I told you I'd give you anything, It's like, well, you did. You lived up to your word, But now she's got Homelander locked in. I mean, Homelander's going to be sucking on those things forever. So, yeah, there you go. That's that. What the fuck? Firecracker never ceases to amaze me, and same with Homelander. I mean, honestly, at this point. But that scene was insane. Now, one of the most legendary scenes in this episode is that, of course, MM was, there with everybody else leading the charge, but MM's kind of been going through a lot of stress lately, as we kind of see, and he kind of has a bit of a panic attack, and no other than A-Train saves his life and brings him to the hospital, you know what I'm saying? And he sees this boy, and the boy kind of sees A-Train, and I thought this was kind of a cool scene, because, for one, he saves MM, which is legendary of him, right? Continuing that redemption arc. But second off, A-Train is, for once, in this show, actually being a superhero and saving someone's life, which is what they're supposed to be doing. And I like that scene, because I can kind of tell that A-Train looked at that, and he was like, yeah, shit, that's what I was supposed to be doing, you know what I'm saying? So, it's pretty cool. It was a really cool scene for A-Train's character. Now let's get to the shit I didn't like about this episode, okay? So, first of all, we have Frenchie, who's locked up in jail. We don't see jack shit of him this entire episode, and he basically turns Kimiko away. He doesn't want to see her. Kimiko continuously goes there, and he keeps saying he doesn't want any visitors, which, in my opinion, is very out of character for Frenchie. I'm sorry. I know he may feel the guilt or whatever excuse you may want to come up with. That scene felt really off to me. It didn't make a lick of sense. And now my biggest problem with the episode, because that's like a small one. My biggest problem with the episode, though, because, again, I don't understand why they had to do this. Joe Kessler, guys, is fake. And this entire episode, instead of having Butcher that, like, is at the party and, like, you get a big battle going on, or, like, Butcher's with the boys and he's helping them out. No, he's sitting in a barn the entire episode with a legless fuckhead. And you find out that Joe Kessler's fake through his vision, which makes no sense because Joe Kessler is an old friend of his, right? And he died a long time ago, so we hear. And the moment he realizes he's not real is when he argues towards Becca. And that's when he's like, wait a minute, you're not real either? And then they do this stupid montage where you see like all the scenes this season of him interacting with no one the entire time. So, writers, do you mean to tell me we just wasted our time with Butcher's storyline this entire season? Is that what you're trying to tell us right now? Huge L for this episode. Huge L with that moment. It was a great episode, but that was a huge L. And I still don't understand what the fuck Joe Kessler is. Like, obviously he's not the one that got the cookies. So who got the cookies? Butcher to poison Ryan? Like, he was interacting with a nobody the entire time? In the penultimate season of the show, meanwhile, you got Frenchie that's fucking off in jail. I gotta tell you, man, look, this season is good. It really is. It's a good season. But does it have filler? Unfortunately, I'm starting to notice it. And it's really frustrating because I have enjoyed this season a lot. But that Joe Kessler reveal is fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. So, I don't know. That's just kind of my overarching opinions on that scene. Joe Kessler ain't real, y'all. He ain't real. He's not a real character. Never was. There you go, I guess. Terrible twist. I mean, terribly done. It was awful. So, in terms of this episode, though, here's what I'll say. This was a great episode. I would rank this about an 8.5 out of 10. I just don't appreciate the Joe Kessler fake out. And also Frenchie's stuff I'm kind of getting bored of as well. But it was still a really enjoyable episode. It was good. There was a lot of good stuff. I just think they could have written some stuff better. That's what I'll say. So, post comments down below. What'd you guys think of episode 6 of The Boys? It was pretty offensive. It was pretty insane, especially that Huey stuff. So I'd like to hear some opinions down below. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, guys, make sure to click the subscribe button and don't miss any of the videos for The Boys. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys very soon for more videos of The Boys. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and peace out.